Time to wrap up the Fort Lauderdale drill. As I mentioned in my prelude video in the description box, this particular event had a little bit of everything that we've seen so far in the previous events we've covered. So for example, the mockery, such as this particular story on how a guy managed to survive even though he was shot in the back, and he claims that his laptop saved his life. Here's a picture of the laptop itself. Now, I'm not a bullets expert. I don't know what would actually look like a bullet penetrating a laptop, but I just can't see that this is what it would look like. It just looks like someone's pried it open with a screwdriver or something, and that's being passed off as being shot. It's just another one of those sort of fluffy pieces that are just there to sort of make you think, oh yeah, even though people died, there's the ones that survive, and that sort of balances it out somehow. So this clip I'm about to play is supposed to show, it's from somebody who was in Terminal 1, and the person who uploaded this video has suggested that it's potentially showing a second shooter. Now what it shows is a guy with a handgun walking through the airport whilst everybody's supposed to have evacuated. It certainly raises question marks because there were stories of a potential second shooter in Terminal 1, and of course all the chaos that was going on at the time, plus people saying that they saw the shooter walk past them. It doesn't quite fit into the timeline of it, but it's worth looking at anyway. So I'll leave that one up to you guys as to what you believe we're actually watching here.
Attention, please. There has been a report of an emergency. Proceed calmly to the nearest exit and leave the building immediately. Do not use the elevators. Use stairwells where necessary. All persons with disabilities shall use the building evacuation plan.
Even if for some reason you actually believe that the official narrative was true and that there was a shooting in Terminal 2, it begs the question as to why the police were still roaming around hours after, acting like somebody was still in the buildings. Because you've got to remember that the police chief gave a press conference half an hour after to confirm that everything was clear, and that they, just for the sake of safety as a precaution, were sending SWAT teams through the buildings. But look at it in comparison to what the news was showing. They were showing people pointing their guns at buildings, they were making people run about, or in this case getting people to put their hands up, and it's all just for effect on the television. That's all it is, to make out as if something more is going on. And then it's not just that, it's of course, like we said when we were covering Nice, the idea of putting these pictures out to the masses so that people subliminally think to themselves, if anybody in authority with a gun, no matter whether they're there to help me or not, you've got to put your hands up as if you're some sort of criminal. But again, it goes back to the control element of it. I mean, look at this particular picture. This is the underground car park at the side of the airport. People are hiding behind cars for what? Who put them there? Why are they there? There's nobody else. There's nothing going on at this point, but they're being told to do it so that the pictures can be taken, so they can put it out to people to make it look like there is actually something going on. And obviously many people get misled by these things. Now, I did a video on mental health and I referred it to this particular case, and the reason is not just so much about the guy who's supposed to have done it, but the reaction that followed after this. So for example, the police chief, he wants to endorse that anybody who's got any sort of mental health record can't purchase a gun. Now, given that the drive is to effectively be rid of guns for the public, that's just another leverage that they would have over you, no matter how minor or severe your mental health illness is. Even if you have one at all, so long as they've got you on record with it, then they can reject your request for a gun. Therefore the control is there. I mean, as always, even though I'm covering these events, I'm still only covering them, sort of the highlights of them. There's other things to do with it as well, more people that get interviewed that are questionable and things like that. But what I want to sort of wrap this up with is what we're going to move on to next, is a quick topic about the word surreal. So whilst my next video is going to talk about that word in a bit more detail, look at this particular person's statement. They say that once the gunman was out of bullets, he was gunned down by police, and he says it was absolutely surreal. Well, we know based on the official story, this guy wasn't ever shot, he actually gave up. So we know this guy's telling a lie, and because he describes it as being surreal, this is why it's sort of opening it up to my next video. So thanks for watching, I'll get onto it in just a moment.